Well, hello. My name is Spencer Denyer and I'm the Group Director and Editor-in-Chief of PSG Global Publications. I'm also the Honorary Chairperson for the upcoming Melbourne Data Centre Satellite and Green Tech Conference and Expo to be held at the Grand Hyatt, Melbourne on February the 26th, 2010. To my immediate left is Mr. Phil Carter, who's the Senior Manager for Business Continuity at ANZ Bank, and who is also on the Executive Committee for Australasia of the Business Continuity Institute, and also the past outgoing board member globally for BCI. I hope I've got that all right, have I, Phil?
Pretty much. I should add that I'm also currently the State Representative for Victoria and Tasmania as well.
Okay, good. I forgot that. Thank you very much. And to my far left I have Mr. Danny Davis, who is the Executive Director for the CIO Institute Australia. So thank you very much, guys, for coming and welcome to this, and also welcome to the upcoming Melbourne conference. What I'd first like to do today is just get each of you to introduce yourself, so what you're currently doing, what a bit of your background is, some of the associations you're affiliated with, then we'll sort of move on to what the BCI means and what CIO Institute means to the organisation and what they're doing around Australasia at this particular point. So with that, I would like to start off with Phil, if you could...
Yeah, I started my career far too many years ago, but originally in the technology area, and migrated to risk management probably 25 years ago. And for the last 20 years I've specialised in business continuity, primarily in the UK initially, but I moved to Australia 4 years ago in a consulting role. I've been consulting in the field for probably 15 years. And lately, I've joined ANZ and head up global business continuity for ANZ Bank at this moment in time. My background includes a period of time when I worked for one of the disaster recovery suppliers in the industry, a company called SunGuard, who are probably the largest independent supplier in this space. So I have a background that spans both technology and business continuity.
Wonderful, thanks very much, Phil. Danny.
Myself, yes, I ran a IT infrastructure services company for 18, 19 years. Initially out of the whole Unix mid-range area as that was on its way out, and then broader as the market broadened out. Providing business continuity, yet the technology, reliability, availability, bit of a reputation at the technical end as the go-to people when all else had failed. Security, managed services probably before the market was quite ready for it, and through that data centre management, other things down that, but very much in the leading edge technology space down that path. Since selling that off 4 or 5 years ago, I've been doing independent consulting work, doing contract CIO work, coming in helping people organise and structure and put ITIL disciplines in place and control things, looking down into the organisation of IT, and a lot of stuff looking at the relationship between business and IT. What is it that business is expecting IT to be doing in the first place? How does that dialogue in fact operate, and why is it that people are coming to these discussions with different expectations in the first place? And what can be done from both ends of that to try to meet in the middle and get some common language.
Look, back onto that what we've spoken about so far, there's a lot of messages that need to go out to the industry, and hence your participation in the upcoming Data Centre Satellite Conference. So with that, I'd just like to ask both of you, and I might start with Phil this time, give you a little bit of a breather there, about your presentation. Now, your presentation is about the convergence of business and IT. I just mentioned that Danny will be speaking about bringing business, IT and the data centre together. So a similar thing, but from different angles, more from the CIO Institute point of view, from the management, collaborative, operational type of perspective, from business continuity, or from your perspective, it's about bringing the business and IT together from a business continuity perspective. So your presentation is going to be for 30 minutes. there at the conference on Friday the 26th of February 2000. If you could just give us a bit of an overview of your presentation and some of the key takeaways there, because the important thing is that delegates are going to these conferences to listen to people, obviously to listen to people, but to get at least one key takeaway that they can take back to their business or their workplace, have a think about, promote some thought about what they're doing, and maybe then start actioning some processes to maybe rectify an existing situation or update, upgrade, whatever.
I mean, my key takeaway will be that IT needs to engage with the business and be proactive in doing that, because the business can sit there and develop a business continuity plan. They don't really understand what the technology is that's supporting them. They may know what systems they use by name. They don't understand how those systems are interrelated, what the infrastructure is behind that. They really have no idea whatsoever. You have to think of a business person as someone who is there to perform a business process. They use IT as a tool, and that's why they're there. If you ask that person to develop a business continuity plan, they can understand what they need to do from a business perspective. But beyond there, they are struggling. And without that relationship being cemented between IT and the business continuity plan will fail to provide what the business needs. So the bottom line is IT needs to be proactive, support the business, provide information about recovery timeframes for systems, help the business to understand what the relationships are and what they actually need to facilitate the business recovery. Huge piece of work. I mean, it's very easy to explain in a few words, but I see huge gaps in that space where the two are not talking to each other. As we say, the financial services arena is probably more advanced in other sectors, but in other sectors I've seen situations where businesses really don't understand what technology provides for them. They know they need it, they know they need it quickly, but that's all they know.
So Phil, look, with that presentation, the convergence of business and the IT, from the business continuity perspective, they've got to develop that business continuity plan. Just who exactly are the key stakeholders in a business, whether it's a tertiary education or government or corporate, who needs to get involved? I mean, obviously your IT manager, potentially there's a business continuity person. They don't have one, they've got a consultant. There will be a representative from the business being on top of it. Would the CFO get involved in that as well? Or?
It depends on the size and structure of the
organisation.
That's a bit of a difficult one. I mean, it's always been a debate as to where business continuity should sit in an organisation. I actually sit in the risk arena, which to me is the right place. But it needs that corporate executive buy-in. I mean, if you don't get that, then you're not going to get very much further down the road, quite frankly. It needs to be driven from the top. You need to have involvement from senior business leaders. You need to have the people on the ground that understand how the business operates. You need your CIO engaged, and you need the people that support the CIO actually working with the business face to face, holding hands, making this happen. And that's the bit where I see it falls down more often than not, that you might get the senior executive buy-in, but the actual on the ground doing this stuff doesn't happen very well.
So that's going to be one of the key messages coming out of your presentation.
Yes, I mean you can't. There's Chinese walls between IT and the business. There always has been, and we need to break those down.
Simple as that. All right, look, Phil, thanks very much for that. Danny, your presentation will again similar theme, but from the management collaboration side of things. So bringing the business, IT, and the data centre together, because the manager of the data centre operations, whoever it is, really needs to have a good involvement. Whether that person in the data centre space is an IT person who manages, which is very much so in Australia and Victoria, particularly in government and university lines and to a certain degree corporate. But it also could sit in the building services, the FM side of things as well.
I guess what I'll probably speak about and tend to at these conferences is people are in different sectors and they're in different style and sector and shape of organisation. And it really comes down to that single thing about how can people in that role, in that space, from the problems that they have and issues that they face, how can they exert some leadership? And it's leadership to get a dialogue going. Traditionally, they have been able to sit back, leave all of that go past them, and somehow